What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Spill the Tequila here live on the John Rocha channel. I am John Rocha, joined as always by the king of swag himself, Winston A. Marshall. How are you, Winston? Yeah? Hello? Uh-oh. What just happened? Uh-oh. Is it me or is it Winston? Guys, am I out or is it Winston there? What's the deal here? Have we got some kind of technical difficulties on our end? Oh, here we go. There he is.
What the hell?
So, man, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm assuming that's what you asked. You said all of a sudden I heard, "Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Spill the Teaquila," and then you fully froze, and I was like, "Rocha." Okay, because I'm fine. I'm just annoyed because that's the second time that this has happened.
Oh, okay.
In the last 24 hours, because I tried to do Blurred Breakdown last night, and all of a sudden it just locked up, and I had to apologize to everybody, and I ended up having to do a show at 8 this morning, which it was cool because people came to watch it, but
that's good.
Not for me because I was exhausted because I had planned yesterday out. I had doctor's appointments from 5:30 in the morning, or I had to be up at 5:30 in the morning to get to the doctor. So I was like, that's my day. Right. And I can sleep. And it was like, nope. Instead, it's wake your ass up early again and do a show, which again, grateful. But this internet goes out, I'm about to slap somebody at Spectrum. I'm gonna tell you that much.
Yeah, I've been in that boat. It's always frustrating when it happens. It's so random. But sadly, this is the situation when you're going live on online. You just never know if the internet's going to hold up or not. And everybody's on it now. And so, yeah, it's a madness for sure. But we, as long as the internet holds up, we are here together to have a little fun talking about a lot of topics here in the world of entertainment. We've got some Batman 2 news that popped up just an hour ago. We got some Supergirl news as well to jump into. We've got Tarantino shooting his mouth off about his top 10 films from the 21st century, some Avatar Fire and Ash first reactions that are a bit mixed, and some Star Wars news, and some other stuff, of course, with NFL Week 13 in the books now, with Winston's Cowboys looking like they make a run at a playoff spot here after an incredible win over the Chiefs, man. They must be singing a new tune here, Winston.
They are certainly trying, man. And I am. It's one of those things where it's like, I believe they are a top 5, if not a higher team in the league right now. But they dug themselves such a hole before that became a thing. It's probably too late. What I really want to see is I want to talk. Where's Kingsport? Not El Boogie. I think Kingsport Cal is also an Eagles fan. I can't remember. All y'all Eagles fans that I kept trying to warn you that this house of cards was faulty. You're like, you just a hater. Jalen Hurts, the man. He a Super Bowl MVP. And I was like, and he looking like a super chump right now. I'm just trying to tell you, I tried to warn you. If you were serious about repeating, you had some shit to address.
Yeah.
Just like the Chiefs did as well. And look at them both. They both lost to the Cowboys, and they both have been on a downslide. And if they don't figure it out soon, y'all might not make the playoffs. That's where we're at this particular juncture. You have the advantage, but you need to do something with it.
Yeah, right now, I mean, I can see you guys sliding in there and taking that division. I really do. I think you guys could, because I mean, Jalen is throwing a terrible ball. He has an occasionally great throw, but some of the other throws, you're just like, what is going on here? They're booing out their offensive coordinator and then egging his house. That's how bad it's gotten there in Philadelphia. They're egging the man's house.
Yeah, it's gotten bad. That's the other one, Sean Brennan and his Chiefs. Sean ain't been around for a minute, bro. I'm like, where's Sean at? This
Come on, Sean.
We felt like Max Kellerman this entire time, where he was trying to say Brady was eventually going to go off that cliff. He was just a few years too early. The same thing is feeling like it's happening with the Chiefs, which I don't think that this is going to be the end of Patrick Mahomes' story, not even by a long shot. But I think we're about to enter that era where Brady essentially won 3 out of the 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah.
Then the Patriots kind of fell, like they were good, but they lost that kind of we're always in the title mix standard until they got back to, and now we're winning chips again. Yeah. I think we're about to hit into that middle chunk of this era where the Chiefs are going to have to do some rebuilding, where Patty will play well, Kelsey will probably retire soon, and then they'll need to really kind of reshore up shit.
Yeah.
And then they'll come back to Foreman, call it, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or something like that is the vibe I'm getting based off of how things are going right now.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. If they even make the playoffs, I don't think they're gonna make any noise. But I don't think we're done with Mahomes getting another ring. I think at some point they'll put the team back together in a good way, and he'll get it, make one last run, just like Brady did, just like Manning did. There's just something about the legends getting one last run. You can see happening for Mahomes at some point in the next couple of years for sure.
Fair. Also, I'm
There's a lot of
loving.
young quarterbacks coming up, though, man. There's a lot.
Well, that's why I think this is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Lamar's got to figure it out, and whether or not they keep Harbaugh. Allen needs way more help. There's still Burrow is back, but again, big hole dealt by him being injured this entire time.
Right.
So this really feels like the Broncos or the Patriots are the team that are just going to walk out of the AFC into that game. Because what did I say about Daniel Jones? What is he already doing? We haven't even gotten to the playoffs yet. So like it really feels like it's either going to be the Pats or the Broncos out of the AFC. And so I just think it's time that hole where they're going to accelerate and they're going to improve. And then the other teams are going to have to restructure and get back in the mix. I'm sad it might be the end of Tomlin. There's that. Right. But again, I see how Boogie D goes. Let the season play out. I agree.
Oh, no, everyone let the season play out. Yeah.
Let it play out. I'm not, like I said, I do think that the Cowboys are too late. As good as we're playing, I feel like it's a little too late just because we need to beat the Lions, which we can because they look vulnerable right now.
Very vulnerable, yeah.
But we kind of have to win out. Even though we have a kind of a cupcake schedule to close out the year, any given Sunday, 2 divisional games involved. Like it can happen. So I want to think positive, but it is. But I look at how Boogie D goes, let it play out. I agree. I just stand by what I said. I don't think the Eagles were paying enough attention to the issues that are there. Saquon, who almost broke a record last year, he's ranked like 35th in the league for yards per game.
He looks a little gassed.
He doesn't look good. And like AJ Brown is finally getting the targets he wants, but like the offense is stagnant. Like a lot of analysts are like, if I'm reading this, before myself as an analyst, you bet your ass that these defensive coordinators and these linebackers are reading it, and you're seeing them take down the Eagles like that. So again, the Eagles are still, I think the favorite right now is the Rams. The Eagles are probably number 2 because people are assuming they'll figure it out.
Right.
But if they don't, they cannot continue with the clip that they have just been playing at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's been ugly.
I agree 1,000%. So we will see. We'll get into it a little bit later in the show for sure. But Karen's like, where are we talking football already? Italy.
I got excited. I'm sorry.
Exactly. But no, let's get into the big. And remember, the Streamlabs Super Chats are open. We didn't do a show last week. That's on me because it was the holiday week and I just got a little tired and I wanted to take a break. So we didn't do a show last week, but we are back this week. So send in your love and support as we go along through Streamlabs and Super Chats. But let's get into the first big story I want to talk about here. Wants to get your thoughts on this. Quentin Tarantino has some words about the top 10 21st century films in his opinion. He revealed this today as numbers 1 through 10. He was inspired by the Big Picture podcast's 25 best films of the century list. Tarantino guested on the Bret Easton Ellis podcast, where he's been explaining his choices. One caveat is that only one film is allowed per director. The list here avoids some of the more cliche picks for the best films of the past 25 years in favor of personal favorites. These are the top 10. Black Hawk Down, which you see on your screen now. Toy Story 3. Lost in Translation at number 3. Dunkirk at number 4. Number 5, There Would Be Blood. Number 6, Zodiac. Number 7, Unstoppable, the Denzel Washington, Chris Pine movie. Number 8, Mad Max Fury Road. Number 9, Shaun of the Dead. And number 10, Midnight in Paris. This is an interesting list, to say the least, Winston A. And he wasn't done making comments about this list because apparently we went after Paul Dano from There Would Be Blood. And I want to get your thoughts on them. I'm going to read this out and put it on the screen, see what you think about this. This is kind of insane. He said this about Paul Dano, who is an accomplished actor. Daniel Day-Lewis, this old stock craftsmanship quality of the film, it had an old Hollywood craftsmanship without trying to be like that. He's talking about There Will Be Blood. It was the only film he's ever done, and I brought it up to him, that doesn't have a set piece. The Fire is the closest to a set piece. This was about dealing with the narrative, dealing with the story, and he did it effing amazingly. There Will Be Blood would stand a good chance of being number 1 or 2 if it didn't have one big giant flaw in it, and the flaw is Paul Dano. Obviously, it's supposed to be a two-hander, but it's also drastically obvious that it's not a two-hander. Dano is weak sauce, man. He is the weak sister. Austin Butler would have been wonderful in that role. He's just such a weak, uninteresting guy, the weakest effing actor in SAG, and he ends it by laughing about his comment on Paul Dano's expense. Did this man sleep with his mom? Like, what is the anger here from Tarantino towards Paul Dano?
Maybe he asked him to be in one of his films and he said, nah, bro, I'm good. I don't know, because I'll be honest. Like, I'm looking at this list and seeing the movies I haven't seen. I haven't seen Dunkirk, even though I love Christopher Nolan. I'm not a big World War I, World War II movie fan. I feel like it's been done to death a bajillion times. So I just never ultimately saw it. And I know I need to, because Nolan is one of my favorite directors.
Yeah, he's great.
I still to this day haven't seen There Will Be Blood, so I can't speak too much to. I know. So I can't speak to Paul's performance in that movie. If there's something to be said, because There Will Be Blood was how long ago? What, 2007?
Yeah, 2007, I think. Yeah,
something like that, or 2008, something like that. If there's something to be said that a young Paul Dano just wasn't who he was going to be yet, because I think he is completely wrong about that, seeing what Paul has done in the last couple of years.
Right.
So maybe if what you're implying is he just wasn't there yet, because I'll make that argument about oh my God, Jesse Plemons, that I have always liked him as an actor, but if you compare what he was doing in Friday Night Lights to what he does now, it's night and day. He's still himself.
Yeah.
But his acting is night and day because he's grown.
Right.
So what's weird to me is for Tarantino not to say Dano just at that time didn't have it yet. He clearly doesn't like Dano, which is nuts, to just go in and be like, he's the weakest actor in SAG. Do you know how many people like got into SAG because they're like random models or influencers and shit like that that are actually bad actors? Like, what's your beef, bro? Like, why are you coming at Paul Dano like that?
That's so crazy. Like Dean Cain's in SAG. Kevin Sorbo's in SAG. There's no way those actors are Paul Dano. I mean, to me, it speaks to something personal here for sure. Like there's something personal here for sure. And maybe him outing it this way is a way of getting it out there to be discussed. But it is mind blowing to go after an accomplished actor like Paul Dano in this way, And so I thought this was a shocking answer. There Will Be Blood is to me, of all the films on that list, that is the number one movie by a mile compared to all the other films that are on the list. And remember, it says the caveat is he can only pick one film from one director. So the fact that he chose Dunkirk over Oppenheimer for a Nolan film,
that was my thought. Everybody has universally said it was Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And if not, Inception would come before that, based off of what people said. Because like I said, I haven't seen Dunkirk, so I can only speak so much. The Prestige, people would bring that up.
I put Interstellar
The Dark Knight. Like there's a number, like it's not to say that Dunkirk wasn't good based off of what people said, but very rarely have I ever heard somebody say that is Christopher Nolan's best film.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's some of the films he left off the list, Winston. Children of Men, as we mentioned, Oppenheimer. Arrival didn't make his list. Logan didn't make his list, which I was really surprised by. Whiplash, Uncut Gems didn't make his list. What else have we got? Argo didn't make his list. Zero Dark 30 didn't make his list. The Social Network didn't make his list, because if you're going to talk to me about 2007, There Will Be Blood, Social Network is 2010. That's not even on his top 10 list, which is insane to me. Now, it might be he's got 10 more to go or 11 more to go, I think, top 21. So there'll be other ones, but like these are some of the films that he left off his list. Grand Budapest Hotel, as you said, Inception. I think Eternal Sunshine still qualifies. So some surprising omissions. Even No Country for Old Men didn't make the cut. And that's a way better film.
Dude, Get Out.
Yes.
Moonlight. Like, I mean, look, if you just even go through a lot of, like, it's not to say that the Academy always gets it right, because they get it wrong a lot, but like there's so many movies that are kind of in that best picture category, and I see that he did pull some of them.
Right.
But that you just kind of like left out there. Now, the article you sent me from Dark Horizons, is there somewhere where he has, like, where did he fully list all this out? Because he's only
done the first 10.
Where did he post this?
On his well, no, he was in the podcast. He
He
listed
did it on the podcast. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But he has not revealed the 20 to 11. He has not revealed those numbers yet.
Okay.
Odd that he would start with his top 10, then go down. That's usually people go backwards in that ways. But yeah. But
Yeah.
Unstoppable, dude, the fucking Denzel Washington train movie with Chris Pine. Look, I love Denzel, but Unstoppable?
I never saw it. It didn't tickle my pickle, bro. I wasn't really like, oh yeah, no, sure, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Because to me, like, that's not even remotely close to Denzel's best. I know this is more
Right.
about the directors,
Right.
but you're gonna associate a lot of these movies either directly with the director or
Yes.
directly with like the star of the film.
Right.
And there are so many other things Denzel has done in the 21st century that are better, like not Training Day. Like what?
Not Training Day.
Like
Yeah.
like for real?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think the last thing that I'll say about it is this isn't like a collective, we all voted on it, whatever type scenario, which is why I think people get a little more angry about, say, the Oscars, because it is like a collective of people making a decision.
Yeah.
It's his personal choice. If this is what resonates with him, like I say to the ends of the earth that the best movie is actually two movies combined in one, and the Rush Hours 1 and 2. But people will be like, "How dare you?" You know what I'm saying? So like I can acknowledge that. That's me. That's how I feel. So if this is how he feels, by all means, do what you do. And the funny thing is, the more I look at this, the more I actually see his films. And I don't even mean that in like I did this to pump up my own shit, but like the energy that a lot of these films give off, or the stories, or how they've been shaped, emulate his own work, and people will have a tendency to do that. You're going to gravitate towards something that speaks to you.
Yeah, true.
So I'll give it to him if that's how he feels, but I just disagree with a lot of these.
Yeah. And let's go. Apparently he released the rest of them. So let's go through those, Winston. At number 11, Battle Royale. Great choice. Love that movie.
Fantastic. That was 2000. Holy crap. I thought it was in the 90s. I did not realize it made the cutoff.
Just barely makes the cutoff for sure. Let's see what then we've got. Big Bad Wolves, which I've never seen, so I don't know what that film is.
I can't speak to that.
Very similar to Prisoners is the way it's described. Jackass the movie, number 13. Jackass the movie.
Okay. Okay.
He said, I don't remember laughing from beginning to end like this since Richard Pryor. That means none of Eddie Murphy's movie made him laugh from beginning to end. It was Jackass that did this. Mind blowing.
I gotta stop you only for half a second, just because I know what you're getting at, but I doubt that's what he meant. You know how people loosely throw around language. I think he's saying, from what he can remember, that he doesn't remember laughing that hard. That doesn't mean he didn't laugh at The Nutty Professor. He probably died. Who didn't?
Right.
But it's just that there's something that locked into his brain with this.
Yeah.
That's all. I gotta call you on that before you go. You thought Eddie Murphy's not funny? Stop shit stirring, Rocha.
I'm just saying. Mention Eddie, damn it. School of Rock at number 14, a film I still have never seen.
Really?
So, yeah, no.
I honestly think you would enjoy it, bro. I don't know how you.
Jack Black guy. It depends on the movie. So,
I get that. This is one of those rare exceptions where he is peak Jack Black, but it fits with what goes on in the film. That even if you don't F with him, you'd be like, okay, this is very heartwarming. This is very funny. Like it reminds me of Sister Act Back in the Habit.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
15, Passion of the Christ from Mel Gibson. Wow. That's an interesting.
Okay.
I'm seeing these for the first time. I haven't seen these numbers, so I'm reacting to them in real time as we're revealing them here. I mean, I like this movie, but putting this movie above all these other films.
See what he said? I was laughing a lot during the movie, not because we were trying to be perverse.
Yeah.
Laughing at Jesus getting effed up. Extreme violence is just funny to me.
Oof.
And when you go so far beyond extremity, it just gets funnier and funnier. We were just groaning and laughing at how effed up this was. Again, I'm thinking about, okay, well, yeah, Kill Bill, when you're fighting the crazy 88s and limbs are flying off and blood is spewing everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, again, it speaks to the shit that he's into.
I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Here, let me zoom back out. Okay. Number 16, The Devil's Rejects. Get the fuck out of here. That is a terrible movie. Rob Zombie is a terrible director. And this is a horrible choice. And I hope they burn in hell. No, this is like
I hope they burn in hell.
This is a terrible choice at number 16.
Oh,
my
wow.
God. Oh. This is Tarantino grindhousing. This is what this is. Grindhousing.
I am beside myself with these choices. These are
17 chocolates. I've never heard of chocolates. He says, here's a movie probably never heard of. People getting fucked up in the most spectacular ways. They trained this 12-year-old girl for 4 years to star in this movie. This is some of the greatest kung fu fights I've ever seen in a movie. Oh, okay. I might want to watch that. Okay.
I what makes me laugh, bro, is, and this is what I love about you, is that you were in the middle being like, I ain't even heard of that shit. That sounds like some stupid shit. Best kung fu movie ever. Damn, that might be good though.
It might be good. All right. Let's see
it. The way you can change your whole energy in a split second.
Always honest, man. Always honest. 18. Moneyball. Love this choice. I love Moneyball. This is a film that's has come on for me over the last few years as one I turn to or watch scenes from on YouTube all the time. Have you ever seen Moneyball, Winston? What are your thoughts on this movie?
I have not seen Moneyball.
Okay.
It's another one of those ones that I just missed at the time. That would have been the year after I graduated college. It was on my list of like stuff I was gonna go see, and I just didn't. And I've just never circled back around. But it is on a list of movies to go back, watch, maybe even do reactions to, all that good stuff.
Definitely. Number 19, Cabin Fever. Oh, give me a break, Eli Roth. Come on now. This is him stumping for his buddy.
But no, but look what he said. Hostel might be his best movie, but this is my favorite. That's the thing I think I keep ringing back to, is to remember this is not a definitive. These are the best movies ever. These are just his.
I know. I just don't like the choices. I love this choice. West Side Story, Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. I think this is an incredible film. Made no money at the box office, sadly, but I think it's one of the best films we've seen in the entire 2000s. And so I like that he's elevating it as a choice here. But he does come for Scorsese. This is what he says. This is the one where Steven shows he still has it. I don't think Scorsese has made a film this exciting this century. And that includes Wolf of Wall Street. I think that's insane. Wolf is great.
And without even being like, unless he set up top, these are the top movies that aren't my own. There's also something weird that like he didn't include any of his films, which are up there in that conversation.
I don't think.
The Kill Bill movies, Django is in that conversation. Like, there's so many things that he himself has done. But maybe that was just the whole thing. Maybe he's like, I'm not including myself. This is from the art that I've taken in, things like that. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I just don't agree with a lot of this. And for Black Hawk Down is fantastic, but number one, I don't have it at number one. It would probably, if I really did this, probably make my top 10, but it's not number one.
I don't even know if Black Hawk Down would make my top 20, to be honest with you.
You don't think so?
I think it's a damn good movie. Don't get me wrong. Ridley Scott directed the hell out of that movie. But I don't know if it's in my top 20 of the 21st century.
That's a lot of movies. It's been 25 years.
It's
been a full 25 years.
Where's Parasite on this list?
Didn't include Parasite in there.
1917?
I'm trying to think what else has happened. A lot has happened over the last. I can't even keep that many movies in my head. Everything Everywhere All at Once, which feels like so in his realm of movies that he would love. Like, I'm surprised that wasn't in there.
That's a great point.
Let me just see. I'm going to just pull up Oscar nominees, because again, that is not the end all be all. Again, think about all of the movies we have been pissed off over the years did not get their due, but it's a good starting point because you're at least including a decent number of films that deserve to be in the conversation. That it's just wild to me that he didn't include ceremonies. No, I need a list of nominees. Maybe we need to do that for a show, bro. Is just do our top 20 of the 21st century.
That could be fun. It could be a 2-hour show for sure. Here's what the New York Times listed. Let me get closer in on this. Oops. Yeah. Let me get a little bit closer in. Zoom in. So let's see here. All right. Oh, I guess you can't do that on. There we go. There we go. All right. Parasite. They were in the mood for love. What else? Spirited Away. So none of the Miyazaki films made his cut.
Mhm.
City of God, Crouching Tiger, Brokeback
Yep.
Mountain. Hmm.
Gladiator,
Yeah.
A Beautiful Mind, any of the Lord of the Rings movies,
Right. Right. That'd
Moulin
be
Rouge, Chicago. Um, what else, bro? What else? What else? What
Wall
else?
E didn't make the list.
Wall-E, Brokeback Mountain, The
Yeah.
Departed,
The
uh,
Departed. Right.
what Slumdog,
12 Years
uh,
a Slave.
the Hurt Locker. I don't fuck with Avatar like that, but the original Avatar.
Sure.
Again, he
Flash.
did Inglorious Bastards. I'm really surprised that
Yeah.
that didn't make his list somewhere. You mentioned Social Network in
Yep.
2010. That's a great point. I
Gone
still,
Girl.
yep, Gone Girl. We mentioned Inception already.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. What else? What else?
None of the Pixar. Ratatouille didn't make it. Wall-E didn't make it. None of their Pixar films made it for him.
Which is nuts. I would throw her in the conversation.
Oh yeah, her for sure.
Trying to see what else here.
Minority Report. Black Panther didn't make the cut, bro.
Black Panther didn't make it. Birdman didn't make it. Whiplash didn't make it. The Martian didn't make it. Room didn't make it. Room is like right in his alley, thinking of like Reservoir Dogs and like how a majority of that movie is in that same spot in the warehouse.
Even Crouching Tiger didn't make it, and he's big into Asian movies, so especially kung fu movies and fighting movies. So
yeah, dude, that's the look again. His choices. It is what it is. I'm just genuinely kind of shocked at the stuff that did not make the cut.
El Boogie, Skyfall. Fuck yeah, that's in my top 20 for sure.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah. Judas and the Black Messiah for sure.
Dude, like Coda. I know people feel mixed about it. I really liked Coda.
Yeah.
Surprised that wasn't in the conversation.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. That's genuinely wild. But hey, again, that's his prerogative.
Oh man, Quentin. All right. Anyway, so there's other thoughts on that. Let us know what you think about these Tarantino's choices here for his top 20 films of the 21st century. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And what's his issue with Paul Dano? Let us know what you think is going on there. As Winston said, which I hadn't thought about, did Paul Dano turn down a role in one of Tarantino's movies and said it ain't really my bag, and that pissed off Tarantino? Is that why he came after him? We need answers. Let us know what you all think as well. All right, let's move on to this story here, Winston. This is also very topical. We've got the first reactions for Avatar Fire and Ash. Unfortunately, my screening broke down last night, so I didn't get a chance to see the movie, which is why you don't have an out-of-theater reaction from me.
No.
And I was pissed. We were there till 7:45. The film was supposed to start at 7. They were downloading the file, and apparently there were issues with the file. So by the time they downloaded it, they realized that only half the screen was 3D and the other half would be regular.
So your brain would probably break.
Pretty much. And so they had to delete that file and then re-download it. Would have taken another 2 hours. So they just sent us home. And now it's going to be tomorrow night. So look for my out-of-theater reaction tomorrow night for that movie. But yeah, there are first reactions of people that actually got to see it. I don't know if you got to see it, but there's quite a few people.
No, I unfortunately once Christian kind of boogied out of here, there's only a few things, mainly Netflix stuff that I'm able to get access to. So I find out like I'll either go at the earliest possible showing of the day it releases, or if I can get in, or if a screen unseen happens, or if like if they're doing like fan event stuff, depending on what it is, I'll potentially put my money out there. I actively chose not to do Wicked for Good because I was getting a bad gut feeling about that, and I didn't want to drop the money on it, and especially knowing it wasn't necessarily going to pay out dividends for me to do that.
Right.
And I'm kind of grateful I didn't, because I was not a fan.
Yeah. I'm with you. I've seen it twice.
Really?
Didn't enjoy. Yeah, because the first time I went, one of the speakers were out. So I could still watch the movie just fine, but some of the ancillary dialogue that kind of populates scenes, we couldn't hear. So I went back a second time the next day because they had a free screening for us the next day because of that issue, and watched it with all the audio. So I gave a proper assessment. and I still didn't like it a second time. So yeah, it's a fine film. It's not a good film or great film.
But like Ariana and Cynthia ate. They did a fantastic job, but they
Yeah,
ate with what they had. Like
right.
it's
Yeah.
okay. If I go to Thanksgiving dinner and the mac and cheese slaps, but everything else sucks. It's kind of and sucks is a rude word. That's not what I mean. The wicked for good doesn't suck. It's just you had an A plus everything in the first one, and
Yep.
this really came in at like a C plus B minus at best.
I would say
So
that.
just based off of the comparison, it just didn't ring true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I know that the musical itself, Act 2, is a little bit harder to coincide with Act 1, especially because so light and airy. Yes, you're dealing with serious stuff, but it's whatever in the first. And then the minute you get to Act 2, it's like darkness, 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 death, death, death. It's like, ooh, but it just that movie felt so much like a cash grab.
Yeah.
Based off of how it played out, it really rubbed me the wrong way. I already felt like, why couldn't you finish this in one movie? And then when you saw that this felt like here's some scraps left over to say we had a second movie, I'm like, like, you know.
Well, some of the reactions have been mixed from the initial reactions last night. Let's take a look at these reactions for Avatar Fire and Ash. Chase Hutchinson says, whatever James Cameron was smoking for Avatar Fire and Ash makes the prior two films look quaint by comparison. A maximalist, often maddening remix of everything he's done prior, just as it owes a debt to Frank Herbert's Dune. It's both the best and worst version of itself. Ryan Swen says Avatar Fire and Ash sacrifices much of its predecessor's enchanted exploration for a more straightforward war narrative and shaky, reiterated setup, but Cameron's ability to viscerally embody the consequences of his character's beliefs carry the day. Flawed but beautiful. My brother Griffin Schiller says we all thought Cameron was making a Star Wars. Avatar Fire and Ash cemented he was making his Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. Highly complimentary. This is so at World's End coded, and Cameron has fully embraced the anime and video game inspos even more proudly here. A non-stop series of the most jaw-dropping radical shit you can and can't possibly imagine. Jones Vibes says Avatar Fire and Ash is the first time I haven't felt at home on Pandora. Instead of taking the big swings the third film should, it plays it safe in all the wrong ways. The visuals are still stunning, but everything else feels like the franchise is drifting into a, quote, if you've seen one, you've seen them all pattern. Woof. My brother Sean O'Connell says Avatar Fire and Ash plays like a remake of Way of Water. Whole narratives are recycled. Zoe Saldana is sidelined, and the character advancement outside of Spider is minimal. Gorgeous to look at, but Cameron has run out of interesting things to say. Last one I'll ever watch. Woo, Sean. Bullshit. I don't believe you, Sean, but maybe. And Tessa, I think we both know Tessa. Avatar Fire and Ash is gorgeous to look at. It certainly has its moments, but it falls into the same trap of repetition as the previous films. Lots of setup for a little payoff, but at least we get some great action sequences. Barang is a fun new addition, far too long. Tessa is one of the most positive critics out there. Like Tessa likes to love everything, not in a bad way. I mean, Tessa tries to see the positive in all the things she sees. The fact that she's even saying that this one is repetitive, not that strong, that does not bode well. So yeah, some of these are a bit mixed here. Winston, what are your thoughts when you hear these comments from these film critics?
I think I kind of go back to what I've always felt about Avatar is that I think it's beautifully done.
Yeah.
I think the tech advancements are insane.
Mhm.
So I'll give all that credit, but I've just never the only times I've really been like, oh my God, is when I'm in the theater watching it. The minute I'm out, I have zero desire to put it on the TV or anything else like that.
Right.
And partially because the spectacle doesn't hit quite as well, not on an IMAX 3D screen. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, otherwise, the movies and kind of the stuff that's being said rings not kind of hollow. Like it just, and it's not to say that James Cameron has done so well throughout his career, really giving a narrative and story and things like that and stuff that maybe I would have not even been interested in.
Yeah.
It just, I've never felt that the storytelling in Avatar has matched up with the spectacle of the movie. So it just didn't do it for me. So again, those that love Na'vi and they're doing the cosplay, they've learned the language. I love that for you. Right. I want nothing but all the best things in life to happen to you and only you. I just it's fuck. That's all I can say,
Yeah.
bro. That's it.
I mean, listen, the knock on James Cameron has always been story. Like his stories have never been strong or the strongest of the big action filmmakers. But for whatever reason, he's always had the magic touch that you cannot repeat, you cannot quantify, you can't even come up with a chemical formula for it. But somehow his movies have an ability to somehow grab the pop culture or the mainstream attention and get people to come see them over and over and over again. The first Avatar movie has unobtainium, may I remind you. So it's not like this is a Mensa level type
Stop
of.
it. I tried to forget about unobtainium. I literally have tried to push that out of my brain. I tried so hard, and you reminded me of unobtainium, you bastard.
It's true. His films have never been Mensa level quality in terms of their intelligence. They're pretty simplistic plots, simplistic films. But what he's done is he's made them like really interesting to look at, fascinating to experience, and so people have enjoyed them, right? But I always think there's a limit to Cameron, and the first Avatar film was fun, it was good. The second one had some cracks to it. It was a little overlong. The way they introduced Kate Winslet's tribe and all that wasn't as strong as I was hoping, but I still enjoyed the movie for what it was. This feels like what that one reviewer said, that it looks like James is finally running out of ideas because he keeps repeating himself. You don't repeat yourself unless you've got nothing new to say. And it may be that James signed himself up for 5 of these movies and he realizes, I got no extra ideas here. This is all the same. And if you don't do the research on colonization and the progression of colonization, and if you're trying to appeal to the mass audience without making them feel uncomfortable, you're not going to have too much to say. And so it may just be that that's what's going on with this film. I'll find out tomorrow. But these reviews don't make me, or reactions don't get me that excited, you know?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. So unobtainium, by the way, I'm just looking at this. Someone said, I think that's a real thing. And this is an AI overview. So let me go and make sure. Unobtainium is a term used in fiction, engineering, and common situations for a material idea for particular application, but impractically difficult or impossible to obtain. Unobtainium originally referred to materials that do not exist at all, but can also be used to describe real materials that are unavailable due to extreme rarity or cost. It can also be used to refer to a device rather than a material. Yeah, okay, here's my only issue with that.
Okay.
In all honesty, like based on what he ended up doing, you are a creative. I would expect a scientist to go, oh, it's unobtainium. I don't know. And they ultimately, when they do that, they do eventually name it after something. Sure. They may start off calling it unobtainium, but then they eventually put it to something. This was not used as a colloquial term, and then they named the element, or it has these properties. It was just, we found this thing, unobtainium. We're going to mine all of it. Like, that's my problem. You are one of the greatest storytellers of all time. You couldn't have come up with a name. It felt like you put, this is my placeholder, unobtainium, and we'll come up with something. And then it's like, James, the movie releases tomorrow. We have to go and rename. Oh shit, I forgot to do. Just leave it unobtainium. They won't care. Like, they won't care.
It's madness. It's utter madness. It's utter madness. And I don't know. I don't. I love James, so I try really hard not to say any negative things about James, but like, if you're going to deal with colonization, man, once you get past the first movie and you start adding tribes, you've got to get into the nuance of tribe to tribe communications, tribe to tribe drama and issues and complexity. Yeah.
I'll give him a little credit. I've only seen Way of Water the one time in theaters.
Okay.
I will give him credit that when the Sky Navi, like when Sully's family shows up, the Water Tribe at first is like, we don't fuck with you Sky people.
Right.
Like, there's a reason we live here and you live there. And eventually they go, remember when we all used to be homies? Can we get back to that? And they're like, and so I'm assuming that that's probably what's going to happen with now the Fire Tribe, but that might be part of the problem, is that it then ends up being the same story beat played all over again, not done in a unique way. Like, if he really wanted to do this, there actually is a really good show called Avatar, which I think is the better of the Avatars, that actually covers the 4 elemental like nations kind of not fucking with each other, and one of them in particular, the Fire Nation, being real damn violent and trying to rule everybody else. Look at how they interact differently. You're like, there's no war in Boss Thing say that the Earth Kingdom is like, nah, ain't nothing wrong. We good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We will ultimately see. Obviously, I will be there the first day I'm able to go and see it, and then I'll make my own opinion of it. But I just, for all of the movies he's done, these movies just really don't speak to me.
I think this is the way you've got to create like a decoder ring for yourself. And I'm speaking to everybody out there. Like, you got to create a decoder ring for yourself. If you see critics who you like or respect or enjoy, and the first 2 sentences of their review about a movie is visually a masterpiece, a visual spectacle, and then 4 sentences down it says, yeah, the story's a bit wonky, not really strong. Some of the dialogue is cheesy, but the way it ends is amazing. That's your decoder ring that the movie is not that good. They're trying to get those creators or actors to be on their YouTube channel or be on their site. And that's why they're reviewing the movie that way. They want to still maintain access to the studio and be able to bring people onto their channel if they can, because they don't want to give you the real feeling about the movie. And some of them, to be fair, don't want to get like negative comments or get swamped by negative comments in their social media or get DMs that threaten them. So it is a weird world right now, but usually that's your code. So, and the other thing is this: if a director comes out before a film comes out and says, I might want to move on if this one doesn't make a lot of money, I'm not sure if I want to stick around, might take a break, he's telling you he's seen his own cut of his movie and it's not good. So I just think those are the things you got to look at, Winston.
I think you got to learn to read between the lines. I think about how all of the funniest material, from like stand-ups to sketch comedy stuff, about like, a man says this, he really means this. A woman says this, she really means this.
Yeah.
And then like that shit is always hilarious because it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's this weird thing where we as a society don't feel like we can just straight up say what's on our mind.
Yeah.
That's always kind of been the case. And people that do, we call them brash, we call them assholes, we call them all sorts of stuff. There's a time and a place to just say, fuck it, this is what's really going on here.
Right.
But you kind of have to read in between it. If someone comes out of the gate going, I haven't felt this moved from a movie in a while, I have never cried so much, I have never laughed so much, that's implying you hit them emotionally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
An epic ending to an emotional journey. That means that somebody really got to where they needed to go. But you're exactly right. They are doing a compliment sandwich. If they start off with, man, I haven't seen a movie this pretty, I really wish the dialogue was better and that they had passed the Bechdel test and all this shit. But man, and it was nice and short too, in and out. Great job. Like, they're letting you know where they feel on that scenario.
This is what theaters were made for. Yeah, some of the dialogue's a bit cheesy, but what a great ending! What a great third act. You know, it's just like that kind of thing. And
if someone gives a minor nitpick,
right,
I think that's a little different. So if like people, like if you're talking about, say, Sinners, if you're like, yo, emotionally moving, fantastic, look into history, there's a few logical things that happen with the vampires that I'm a little curious about, but like this might be one of Ryan's best. That clearly, there's a little thing here or there you would like a tweak.
Yes.
But overall it works. You just have to look at when they say certain things and how they say it, and that'll give you your answer.
You also have to look at how certain publications do it. Like the Penske Media people are in bed with the studio, and let me show you their thing. Avatar Fire and Ash first reactions called James Cameron third chapter an ultimate cinematic spectacle that pushes technical boundaries in unimaginable ways. And if you look through all the reviews that they quote in here, all the reactions, none of them are saying negative things about the movie. Only the ones that are being highlighted from the other, like Tessa's not in this. Griffin got his one in here, but Griff's also positive about the movie. But pretty much nobody who said negative things about the movie is quoted in this article, and that's because Penske carries the water for the studios, and so they're going to push it in a certain direction when there were plenty of reactions that were not positive about the movie, and the more accurate assessment of the reactions is mixed. And so it just tells you you've got to be aware of how to look at this stuff because, we see the stereotype about the media. The media, in some cases, that is correct. The media manipulates the narrative because they're invested in manipulating the narrative. And I think with Penske Media owned publications, they live at the service of the studio. They serve at the studio's bidding. And this is another example of it, in my opinion. It's my opinion.
No, I totally get that. And I think the other thing that just rings true in my brain is kind of this idea of, like you said, look at what that title was.
Yeah.
Like, do you mind pulling it back up?
Oh,
just
yeah,
because again, we'll give you the Rosetta Stone here, like of how to read through the lines.
Right.
So look at the title. It is Ultimate Cinematic Spectacle. Didn't say Ultimate Cinematic Masterpiece. They said spectacle, meaning that it is flashy.
Right.
Spectacle is very, very important for musicals, for action and movies and horror movies and stuff like that.
Right.
Nobody's saying spectacle isn't important, but you didn't say masterpiece. You didn't say ultimate cinematic experience. You specifically said spectacle, meaning it's flashy.
Right.
And then you follow that up with pushes technical boundaries in unimaginable ways. The one thing I have always given Avatar credit for, ain't nobody's tech coming for it the way that Avatar does.
Agreed.
I will give them so much goddamn credit. Hell, if The Flash, I just rewatched it today for some reason. I decided I was going to give it another shot. And I thought about it, and I was like, honestly, I still have some issues with some of the story beats, mainly how they handled Savitar and all that. But overall, I didn't necessarily have an issue with how the story was told. I thought the story was told very well.
Yeah.
But what took me out of it, you spent how much money and you end up with Mummy Returns level of CGI?
Yeah.
And then you tried to say that was on purpose. If you had given me Avatar level of CGI with the Flash story, people would have been saying this is the greatest superhero film potentially of all time, because those moments with the mom and getting back Michael Keaton and seeing how that was properly done. There were so many things to love about that was kind of the missing piece there. So they told you what they really think about it, but you're right. They know they cannot say that directly. Yeah. So you find a very, like, it's 1,000%. No, it's not me, it's you. And like, oh baby, you were fantastic.
Variety carefully curated reactions from people who more often than not like the big movies, and they put those reactions in the first reactions. And they put them on. So it makes it seem like if you're the reader, you're like, oh, I'm going to go see it. Look at all these critics who love it. When in fact, there were quite a few critics with strong followings and large followings who didn't like the movie quite as much, and they didn't put those in there. So you got to be aware of how they manipulate these narratives with these movies. And they do work, to me, in service of the studios, especially Variety, because Variety wants to get James Cameron into their halls to be interviewed. Variety wants to talk to Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, and everybody involved in it. They want that kind of stuff. So they have to kind of play it in a certain way to keep them satisfied, which is sad, because we used to live in a society where people were okay coming to defend their work. Now it's like everybody's got to kiss their ass. Very Trumpian. Everybody's got to kiss their ass in order to get them to come and hang out. You can't separate the two, in my opinion. It's very similar. It's very similar.
Yeah.
So,
no, for sure. Which real quick, because because maybe I got it wrong. I thought that that's what they were implying in The Flash, because someone was like, are you talking about the TV show? I thought that they were implying, based off of the armor, that he was supposed to be essentially Savitar, which in other instances is an alternate Barry that's just gone dark because horrible things have happened.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm off base there. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, the last thing I would like to just point out, what Planet Yavin saying, respectfully, I disagree with everything being said right now. Okay. And that's 100% fine. Yeah. You were allowed to have that opinion. I am just saying that typically, if you are trying to speak critic, and whether that be with movies or music or anything else, look if they're using words that are speaking to specific elements, or if they are talking about something as a whole. Because it's funny. I'm going to be very careful so I don't step at it here, but I think about like when Taylor Swift's newest album came out, how a lot of the critique that was going on would be, this song slaps, this thing she's talking about is great, this melody is whatever, but then they go, where, like, sonically this is very whatever. They might be like, but it isn't maybe her strongest thing that she's put out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's very, people will be particular about that, where you're right. They don't want to burn any bridges. They don't want certain fan bases to come and attack them. They don't want to do whatever or not have access, but they will give you kernels of truth.
Right.
So that you can kind of get what they're actually saying without directly pissing people off.
Yeah. Well, this is why when I review stuff on my social media, and I should do this more often, honestly, I make sure it's like 5 or 6 paragraphs. I just make sure that it's a very concise, detailed, well, not concise, I guess, but detailed, exhaustive review that showcases my actual feelings about the movie, because I don't want people to look at my stuff and go, oh, he's hiding how he really feels about the movie. And I think a lot of these critics do hide, fellow critics do hide through, as you said, certain ways that they construct the tweets. And it's very clear on some of these, even the positive ones, that they've got some kernel of truth to their issues with the movie, which I always think gets exposed by the fans whenever they go see it. Just like Wicked for Good, right now the numbers aren't, and I think they're not going to end up being as strong as the first movie. It's because no matter how many critics love it and the Wicked fans are glowing about it, the numbers to go see the film, it almost dropped 60%. I think the numbers are going to keep getting lower and lower, and then Avatar comes in next week, so it's going to be an interesting situation. Or is it this? I think it's next week. Yeah, so it'll be an interesting situation.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think that even though they're not quite the same audiences, the way that Zootopia is eating Wicked for Good's lunch, dude, it already hit 600 worldwide in one weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane. Call it more a week because you technically got it on a Wednesday, but that you ate everybody's lunch, bro, and dinner. The lunch, Thanksgiving dinner, and post dinner like snack leftovers, bro. Like it will hit 1 billion by this weekend at that rate.
Yeah,
like,
that's gonna be something to see.
Crazy.
That's gonna be something to see. Zootopia killing it in China. It's killing it in China. So. All right, let's move on to what else we got here, Winston, tonight. I know we're already at an hour mark, so we got to jump on these things. I kind of want to skip this stuff. What do you think about this situation here? This was announced just about an hour and a half ago. Erik Messerschmidt, who was the cinematographer on The Killer, the Michael Fassbender film that Fincher did on Netflix, and Mindhunter, another Fincher film, may be the new cinematographer for the Batman Part 2. Well, Matt Reeves quoted this tweet and said, "This is a true story. Let's go, Erik." So he confirmed it. Erik Messerschmidt is going to be the cinematographer for the Batman Part 2. Now, if you've seen The Killer, you've seen Mindhunter, these are very dark, moody approaches to projects. So it seems to make a lot of sense. This is exciting to see Messerschmidt coming in to be the cinematographer for the Batman Part 2. Are you familiar with his work? Have you seen these projects? What's your thoughts on Messerschmidt coming in?
Not familiar with those. I immediately went to go see who the cinematographer for the Batman was. I guess it's Greg Fraser.
Yeah, he's doing the Beatles films. I think
I'm just bummed out because I went to go look up his IMDb and look at his credits, man. The fact that he did both Dunes, which are visually gorgeous. The shot, not just the set pieces and set design, but the shots.
Yeah,
gorgeous. Obviously, he did the original Batman. He did a number of episodes of The Mandalorian. Yeah. He's got some major street cred with his cinematography. So I'm bummed that he's not doing it. But let me look up this guy. You said, what's his name again?
Yeah, Erik Messerschmidt. I'll read you some of the projects here. As I said, The Killer, Ferrari, the most recent Michael Mann film with Adam Driver, Devotion, the Jonathan Majors one with Glenn Powell, Fargo, episodes of Fargo, Mank, the one that was nominated for Best Picture, Mindhunter, Legion, 3 episodes of Legion, Raised by Wolves. So not a lot of theatrical experience, but the films he's done theatrically are pretty amazing, and the TV shows for sure. He even did an episode of Dope Thief.
He won an Oscar.
Yeah, he did.
He won an Oscar for Mank. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, look again. Not the end all be all, right? But the one thing that can be said is that the way that the voting works for the Academy is you initially vote on your category. So that means the cinematographers that were involved decided these are the ones that we feel were the strongest of the year. And then the Academy as a whole gets to vote on each category collectively.
Right.
So that means that at the bare minimum to even win that, he had to start off at a point where all the other cinematographers in the Academy said, "Yo, this is the dude."
Yeah.
Like he's one of the 5 that deserve to get this nod, man. So I'm here for it. And I love also seeing like the fact that him listed as like a gaffer,
Yeah.
as a chief lighting technician and all that.
Worked his way up. 100%.
I love to see that. That puts a smile on my face to see that he worked his way up to the big leagues and has been going in ever since, man. And he did some of the biggest movies that we've seen in the last however long is that. Like he was gaffer on Ant-Man, even though Fan Four Stick was not great. He was the chief lighting technician there.
Right.
You
Iron
know,
Man 2. Iron Man 2 is another one. He was gaffer on.
Like that's awesome. So I am excited to see what happens. I trust Matt Reeves. If Matt Reeves is here for it, then I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Because he already gave us a masterpiece in the first one. So I got to trust that he knows what he's doing for the second.
I agree 1,000%. It excites me on so many levels. I can't wait to see what he's going to create for sure. All right, so let's stay with DC. I don't think I have a photo for this one. Let's stay with DC. Winston, there were some accusations this week that the Supergirl movie is going to cost $200 million to make. This is out of Forbes, a well-known financial business magazine. Yes, they cover entertainment, but their bones, their foundation, the way they made their name is assessing finance. But James Gunn came out and said, not true in a tweet. Now people are like, oh, it's debunked. Now it's debunked, as if everything James Gunn says is the truth. So, but I'm going to go with this possibility that it is 200 million. What are your thoughts on this, Winston? Do you think it makes sense for Supergirl to be 200 million, or do you buy James Gunn saying that it's not 200
million? Yeah, I think both. To be honest, I don't mean to sound like a cop out, but I think both. Thunderbolts was 180.
Yeah,
and you're talking.
Oh yeah.
Origin, slightly more obscure, not like one of the mainstream characters. Like Supergirl is up there, but like again, you're not at the spotlight of Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman. You know what I'm saying? So like she is definitely on that B or C tier as far as relevancy, just from how she's been portrayed throughout. Like obviously the Supergirl show helped raise that clout a little bit off that. Yes. But like she's never been full blown in the spotlight like that. She's always been Superman's cousin. That's really been the thing. So with this trying to be a moment to give her that spotlight, there's that. I think it will ultimately depend at the end of the day of how this goes. If you had started creeping near 250, now I've got a problem.
Right.
Now I'm like, because you're pushing it 250 and above. Now you're like, you have to clear so much to get there. And I'll give you that more with an IP or a name that is more trusted. So if you were like, well, we did Superman for 250, it's Superman. Okay. If we did Spider-Man Brand New Day for 275, it's Spider-Man, and Spider-Man has done 2 billion. Okay. It's Star Wars. Like, the reason why Indiana Jones was a problem, we were seeing one, it was like 350. Two, we were watching budgets balloon, and you're throwing in the fact that like you're dealing with an aging Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
You're dealing with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who was trying to kind of be like the I'm taking over now type scenario, but we already didn't feel good about the last Indiana Jones that came out. There's a number of reasons why that number being what it costs to make that last Indiana Jones was absurd. You have not earned, in my opinion, a budget that high. That's saved for Avengers Doomsday because another culmination film, and God knows how many damn A-list actors in the movie. So 200 is going to be about my upper limit, especially because it's not just a superhero film. It is a sci-fi epic. Sci-fi epics tend to be pretty damn pricey because have you read Woman of Tomorrow?
Yes, I have it right here.
Love it, right?
Yeah, it's a great story.
It is literally put Supergirl in a almost like a mummy in space. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is, we're on this quest. We're gonna like, and we're going to different planets, and we're meeting different aliens, and we're fighting, and like, you need the money to do that. So I'm fine with it. And if he says that it's not, I also understand the idea of the movie ain't done.
Right.
So it's one of those situations where it's like, where are people getting these numbers? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you are, I've got sources, I got this, I got that. Where are you getting it from when the movie's not done yet? We haven't fully filed all the tax stuff yet. We didn't wrap it up. And so it's what it feels like to have that come out. And I mentioned this on the show earlier today. It feels like we need a story. There's always we need a story. And so the story is going to be, did you know that James Gunn allowed Supergirl to be 200? Like, that's what that feels like to me. So I'm just like, all right. And
right,
know,
exactly.
If it bombs and it was 200, then you might go back and go, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? But where are we getting these numbers? That's my initial thought process.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see, but we'll see what the end result is for Supergirl. A lot of people are looking forward to that one for sure. So we will see on that front. Well, we're already at the hour mark. I know we got to go soon, Winston. So let's get into some NFL stuff. Week 13. That's right. It's time, Karen. It's time for the NFL stuff. The Packers beat the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. The Cowboys, as we mentioned, beat those Chiefs in Dallas 31-28. The Bengals crushed the Ravens in Joe Burrow's return. The Bears announced themselves. So you see there, Caleb Williams with their victory over Philadelphia in Philly, 24-15. The 49ers crushed the Browns, poor Shedeur Sanders. Jaguars crushed the Titans and are now in pole position in the AFC South. The Texans beat the Colts. I think it's their 5th win in a row for the Texans. So look out. They might be coming in as a bit of a dark horse candidate. The Dolphins beat the Saints. No surprise there. The Jets outlasted the Falcons in overtime. The Buccaneers beat the Cardinals, but only by 3. The Panthers beat the Rams in a shocking victory for them in Carolina, 31-28. The Seahawks destroyed the Vikings, blanked them 26-0. The Bills killed the Steelers 26-7. And old Aaron Rodgers started crying about his receivers right on cue. The Chargers destroyed the Raiders. The Broncos beat my fucking Commanders. Oh, right when we had the game, we were going to win the game in OT.
Bro,
and then the Patriots destroyed the Giants to basically announce themselves as a team to beat in the AFC. Yes. Winston, your thoughts on the games?
Already kind of talked about the Chiefs and the Cowboys and the Eagles. I think the one thing to say that I didn't say about the Eagles is, like, the Bears are legit. They're the number one seed right now in the NFC. And Caleb is getting better by the day. I don't think he's the guy yet, but he's better by the day. And I think that speaks to genuinely how good of a coach Ben Johnson is, that you have turned this ship around from a team that's been struggling for a while. Doesn't look good for the Lions, especially if you lost any sort of like extended time with Amon-Ra. I don't think the Ravens still sit at the top of the food chain, but
I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about the Ravens. I was thinking they were going to surge, but Lamar has not bounced back yet. Like, he still doesn't look very good.
They were saying that in the game, that he didn't look like he was himself in times past. So,
I think he's playing through injury. If I'm being real, I don't think that he like lost it. I think he's playing through injury, but you're not going to say anything because you're just like, I got a job to do.
Right.
And I think that that's kind of what's going on there. The Texans are not to be trifled with. If CJ Stroud gets back to form for real, like he did rookie year, then they're a dark horse to take this whole thing, because that defense is the best defense in the league.
Right.
Anything else that sticks out? I guess we have to pay attention to the Panthers. Like, what the hell? This coach, is pulling all sorts of crazy wins out of nowhere. Sam Darnold is not to be trusted.
Nope. Even if he wins,
Josh Allen is in trouble. He does not have real support there. He only has James Cook, and like, you're just playing against the Steelers that are weak. Aaron Rodgers needs to retire. I'm sad to say that Mike Tomlin's probably going to finally be let go from the Steelers. And maybe he'll go to another team. And then the Commanders.
Oh my God! You get rid of Dan Quinn. Give me.
I'm concerned he might go to New York.
No.
I know. I don't want it either. No. I don't want it either, bro. That's the last thing I want.
Jackson Dart and Mike Tomlin. No.
Yeah, I'm really sad that y'all didn't pull it off. You were so close against the Broncos.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, I
I'll
thought
tell
we were gonna
you,
get crushed. I thought we were gonna get crushed. So the fact that we were in it all
Mm.
the and with like journeyman receivers, right? We had Terry, but everybody else was journeyman receivers. I can't believe. And then if Mariota just does a fake and moves around the defender,
if Ertz
it's
catches
wide open.
any number of
Oh,
those balls, bro.
oh man,
Let's
Earth,
not forget
dude.
Ertz dropped so many like
Yeah.
game. Like
Yeah.
but I will tell you this much.
Oh,
Again, I think it's the Patriots and the Broncos are the two AFC
yeah,
teams.
I
I
agree.
trust the Patriots infinitely more, even though I think that the Broncos are a stronger team.
Yes.
It's then gonna come. I think they're like 1A and 1B, but the problem is Drake May is legit and
Yeah,
Bo
Drake May
Nix is iffy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if it
That's the
came
difference.
down to it, the Broncos have a much stronger defense,
Right.
but the Patriots have Drake May leading them, and this kid already looks like a Brady clone. Like
Yeah.
he's not, and I don't even mean like GOAT Brady peak of his powers. I'm talking young Brady that was good enough to win Super Bowls.
Right. Right.
That like he looks that kind of good. Brady was not the GOAT in those first few years, but he was very good. That's what Drake May looks like right now, and that's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at it right now, the top 8 teams: Patriots, Broncos, Jaguars, Ravens, Chargers, Colts, Bills, and Texans. That's your top 8 teams, right?
Mhm.
Behind them are Pittsburgh and Kansas City, Miami, Cincinnati. I mean, is there a world where both KC and Pittsburgh do not make the playoffs? And or is there a world where they both one or both of them sneaks in and like the Colts fall out or the Chargers fall out or maybe even the Ravens fall out? And also look at Cincy with Joe Burrow back. They're 4-8. It would take a miracle to get to they'd have to win out at 9-8 and somehow squeeze out a wild card. Is that possible in this scenario? Because the other teams have to basically lose 3 or 4 games down the stretch. And I
It's
don't know.
so that's the thing. I don't think the Bengals are getting a wild card. That's not happening. I'm looking
Okay.
at the ESPN playoff picture, and it's giving the percentages
Yeah.
of what people can do. Right.
Right.
So New England 90 greater than 99% to make the
Yep.
playoffs, 85% chance to win the division, 46% chance to earn the bye, and 15% chance to make the Super Bowl. They have the Broncos, 98% chance to make the playoffs, 86% chance to win the division, 40% chance to make or earn a bye, and then 19 to make the Super Bowl, right? So those are the two we were talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Right now, the Ravens have a 60% chance to make the playoffs and a 60% chance to win the division. The Steelers have a 34% chance to make the playoffs and 33% to make the division. And this is how I know that the Bengals have to win the division. They have a 7% chance to make the playoffs and a 7% chance to win the division, meaning they do not see them winning enough games to get a wild card. They have to win the division. That is the only way that they're making the playoffs. And they can because they're not that separate from the top teams right
It's only 2
now
games.
because they're both not that great.
Yeah.
But they have the advantage already of having already beaten the Bengals and already
Yeah.
and the way things are kind of playing out. So I don't know, man. I love Joey B, but I need him to stay healthy, and then you're going to need help for the Steelers and the Ravens to continue to be just ridiculously bad.
This could turn around in 2 games. The Ravens
Yeah.
play the Steelers next week. So that's kind of someone gets to at least get a higher ranking in that situation. But then Ravens go to play Cincinnati after that. Then they have the Patriots, the Packers, and then they're at the Steelers again. That is a murderer's row to end your season for the Ravens. That is a tough ask. Whereas
Mhm.
the Bengals, I think it's what do they get? They've got the Bills next week, which is a tough game. Then as I said, they got the Ravens, but then it's the Dolphins, the Cardinals, and the Browns. So if they can survive, if they can beat the Bills, I think they can beat the Ravens again, and then they can roll through those last 3 weeks of the season. They could win out and make it real interesting at 9-8 by the end of the season. And Pittsburgh has the Ravens, as we said, next week. Then they've got the Dolphins. They could win that. They could. I don't know. I don't know what you get with Tua. Then you've got the Lions, the Browns, and then the Ravens again. So I think that Ravens-Pittsburgh game at the end of the season is going to be the difference between either winning the division or wild card. And then maybe Cincinnati squeezes in there somehow. So this is going to be fascinating to see as the weeks go on for that division for sure.
It's going to be absolutely insane. I'm going to be glued to pretty much every game that I can.
Yeah.
because this has been maybe one of the biggest parity years
Yeah.
we have seen in a while,
Yeah.
because teams that have had no business in the playoffs are like, hey, they've got some pieces now, or they got a new coach now. This might be their time to start turning it around. Did it fast. The
Yeah.
Bears went from, we got Caleb, he's okay. We'll see if he can really live up to the number 1 pick. Ooh, we got Ben Johnson. He was the top coaching choice. Like, I'm really curious here. What the fuck? They're number 1 in week 13. Are you kidding me? Like, it's that. It's okay. We got Vrabel, and Drake May was all right last year. What the F? They're the number 1 seed. Like, these are the things that are happening right now. And then the teams that you were like perennial playoff contenders, Chiefs might not make the playoffs. Bills struggling. Like won this past week, but struggling. Ravens been struggling. They're number 1 in their division right now, but struggling. Like, there's just so many people that you thought would be more in the mix that aren't.
Right.
And those that we never would have imagined would move this fast are like, I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, look at the NFC. You got the Bears, the Rams, the Eagles, the Bucks, the Seahawks, the Packers, the 49ers, the Lions. That's your top 8 teams. And then right behind them, you've got your Cowboys, who are only 1 game behind the Lions. The Panthers, who are 7-6, and they are 1 game behind the Buccaneers, who are at 7-5. And then you've got those are the 2 teams. I don't think the Falcons or the Vikings are going to make any kind of noise. So there is a possibility that the Lions don't make it. There's a possibility the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't make it, even though they started the season really strongly. So if the Cowboys keep winning, they're going to shove somebody else out of that top 8. And certainly if Carolina keeps pulling out, as you said, those miracles, they're going to shove someone out of the top 8. So there's going to be some real surprises, I think, once this all gets settled here, because some teams are on a run right now, and it might be enough to carry them through the end of the season.
Yeah, I think the only I want to have faith, because again, we can very much beat these 5 teams.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that the Cowboys probably have on the docket is to play spoiler. I think that I think if we go in and beat the Lions in 2 days, the biggest thing you've done in that regard is you've probably screwed the Lions out of making the playoffs.
100%.
Like, more than anything. And because we're only a half game behind them. You know what I'm saying? And like, to that point, we're not that far off. We share that kind of tie with the Packers and stuff like that. So we're not that far off with the rest. But the problem is, a lot of these other teams, 9 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, they need to cannibalize themselves just a little bit for anything to happen. Our best bet, I still stand by, is the Eagles having a further collapse and us winning the division.
I think
that's your best bet. But the problem is, they got Chargers, Raiders, Commanders, Bills, Commanders. The only team in there that seems like an actual problem for them is the Bills, because they play the Commanders. I mean, the Chargers this week. The Chargers are banged up. Herbert's hurt. Like, you're looking at a situation where the Eagles actually have a cupcake way to end this.
Yeah.
The teams they just lost to are teams with some real firepower. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there was ever some get right games, you got 5 in a row right now.
That's true. Carolina's going to be interesting. Tampa Bay is going to be interesting too, because Tampa Bay basically plays division games for 4 out of 5 remaining games they have. They have the Saints next week, but then it's the Falcons. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the division game except for 1. That's the Dolphins. They've got the Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers twice to finish out. Twice in the last 3 weeks, they're playing the Panthers.
Bro.
And that's going to make the difference right there, man.
Bro, if the Panthers eat the Buccaneers lunch and take the division, fam, that would be so dope. That would, I don't even mess with the Panthers like that, but I would have to give them credit. That would be incredibly dope if they figure out how to sneak that division away from them.
Dude, they wanted to run Bryce Young out of town last season, and now he has got them possibly poised to make the playoffs.
He's up and down, though. Let's call it a buck. He's up and down, but he looks so much better than he did these first 2 years.
100%.
Like, he is putting together the type of comeback and growth that you're hoping you were also seeing in, like, Caleb Williams. Caleb just did it a slight bit faster. This is what you hope for, and if Bryce found his coach, shit, man.
Same thing with the Bears. If what's his face has found his coach from the Lions, and there we go. Karen, who stuck around to hear us talk about football, says if Tomlin goes, then who will they get for the Steelers? Here's my shocking choice. Harbaugh. When Harbaugh gets let go from Baltimore, he goes to his rival Pittsburgh Steelers, and he is the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll tell you right now, I would do everything in my power to get Harbaugh away from Baltimore and come coach my Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a hard-nosed guy. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers ethos. He coaches defense strongly. That's what you want to see in Pittsburgh. And he can get the most out of his offensive players as quarterback. So I think Harbaugh is your answer if you're going to replace Tomlin, if they're going to let him go for Baltimore, if they don't make the playoffs this year and Lamar kind of takes another nosedive. So it's very possible. I'm just throwing it out there. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to these questions, Winston, because I know we got to get going from the show here. Thank you, everybody.
My birthday.
Okay. Dennis Hoffman, happy birthday to your mom. Dennis Hoffman, 3856 says, John, love that Alan Heinberg video you tweeted. Not a big fan of movies, but his collaborators love him. He's talking about Zack Snyder because he advocates for them. I agree, Dennis. Yes. And that's why I tweeted it out, because people come after Zack Snyder all the time. And I get it. It's the fans and maybe him riling up the fans. I totally get it. But like, everybody talks about how positive their experiences are with him. And that's a rarity in Hollywood. And so I just wanted to tweet that out. So, yeah. JLM 219 says, like the saying goes, opinions are like assholes. Tarantino is one. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wow. Okay. Jesus Christ.
The opinions of the JLM 219 or the opinions of JLM 219?
Yeah. I ain't say that shit.
As Tomlin to the Giants, will Rocha and Winston be shaking in their boots?
Yeah, I don't. Yes. Yeah, if all that's happened is it. Well, it depends.
Yeah.
If all that's happened is the message is not ringing true in Pittsburgh anymore.
Yeah.
And he goes to another team and that message resonates with somebody else, then yes. But if this is a sign that he just is behind the times and this is who he is as a coach now, that's the flip side of it that I'm actually curious.
Good point. Yeah. But I think Malik Neighbors stays. I think he gets that one. Was it Andre Carter, whatever his name is, was watching porn on his
Carter.
What's it? Watching porn on his computer, and they. Yeah,
I literally was imagining they're in like a meeting or whatever. His AirPods go out, and all of a sudden the whole room hears doom 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 down like that like little Pornhub theme, and then it just go.
Abdul Carter, yeah. So, but apparently, Wesley Steinberg said Carter will miss the first drive tonight for disciplinary reasons after getting caught watching.
Are we sure that wasn't fake?
Team meeting, but then they said they debunked it, saying that it wasn't true.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
So funny. But anyway, all right. So let's see. What's the next one here? All right, Doug Beck, come back again. Thank you, Doug. MJ said one of his biggest regrets is not closing the 90s and millennium out with one finals win. Could you see his Bulls beating the Spurs in 99? Yes. I'm saying right now, I could see Jordan's Bulls beating any team that they played against in the finals at any year they got to the finals.
Was that Timmy and Robinson?
Oh, yeah. Timmy and Robinson. That first year they were together.
I mean, yes.
Jordan
it's Michael Jordan.
Jordan would get into that brain of Robinson, David Robinson.
I mean, yes, yes. But remember, there's a reason why we called them the Twin Towers, bro. They were monsters. They were genuine monsters. And I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's something I wish I could have seen more of. Because was that Timmy's rookie year?
I think it is. Dave Robinson, Tim Duncan.
He was selected in 97. So he'd been there for a couple of years, but he finally came into his own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's kind of like being like, oh man, like those Bulls would have been able to, take on the Shaq and Kobe dynamic duo that became that three-peat. Like it's hard to say.
David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Sean Elliott, Avery Johnson, Malik Rose, Mario Ely, Steve Kerr, who had left the Bulls to go be on the Spurs, Will Purdue, Antonio Daniels, and then Jaren Jackson and some other players. So, I mean, I don't know, because Popovich might have been the greatest coach Jordan would have played against in the finals. Nothing against George Karl, nothing against Rick Adelman, nothing against anybody else who, Magic Pat Riley. Popovich, I think, might have been able to find a way to short circuit MJ, possibly. But I also think MJ would have played mind games with all those guys, all the other guys on the Spurs, except for Duncan. I think Duncan wouldn't have fallen into any of his traps, but Robinson, maybe. Sean Elliott, definitely.
Dude, remember Tim Duncan made first team All NBA his rookie year.
Yeah, that guy was he was in from the beginning.
Yeah, they immediately turned it around and made the playoffs that first year that they were in, and then the next year they won a chip.
Yeah. So Doug also asks, similar to QT, Scorsese once did his favorite film of the 90s. Number one was The Thin Red Line. Thoughts, especially Rocha, who's a Terrence Malick fan? Yeah, I don't think it's the number one film of the 90s, although I respect Scorsese loving that movie because it's very much a director's type of movie. So I'm not surprised it was number one for Scorsese. You ever seen Thin Red Line, bro? Yeah. It's an acquired taste. It's an acquired.
Okay. All right. Noted.
Waka Baka says, hey, boo. Okay. Let's remove my mute on X, big guy. I miss you. Well, send me a DM and maybe I'll remove you. Because I don't block
do DMs come through if they're muted?
I don't know. Don't be a dumbass and you don't get muted. It's really simple. It's really simple. John DX Dragon says, I understand being excited for a film, but is it me or do these critics for Avatar and social media in general sound incredibly fake? Their words are so extreme. It's a turnoff and kills the hype. Yeah, Winston, I think this is very true. And look, I love some of my people who are fellow critics. You and I both know some critics who are out there putting their stuff out there. You put your stuff out there. I do as well. But you're seeing that more and more people are turning away from these fantastical exclamations about how great a movie is because they sense that these critics are trying to get quoted in the campaigns. And in fact, when they're retweeting or they're posting pictures of themselves being quoted, that doesn't do anything to dispel the feeling that that you're not giving your real opinion about a movie and you're just trying to get quoted by a campaign. And it's not a good thing for film criticism, honestly.
No, it's not. Yeah, there's a certain level of it does feel like you are putting one on. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah. To consider for sure. So I hear you, John DX Dragon. I don't think you're alone on that.
It's part of why I'll be honest, when I do my full-on reviews versus out of the theater reactions, I try and be very careful with out of the theater reactions. I know my emotions are high, and then with reviews, I give specifics as to where I'm at.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's good stuff, bro. Derek Johnson. What's up, Derek? Just throwing some support.
Ooh, DJ. Damn, son. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Fred Tastic says Jerry's going ham to crush the fans this year. Is that true?
Jerry's
I don't know what that means.
Ham to crush the fans this year. I do not. Oh, I see. He's saying that Jerry Jones, by making these trades mid-season and waiting till we were already kind of down and out, like you're just getting us hype only for us to get Charlie Brown again.
Og. All right. Matt Sinister McCall says, team you'd like to win the Super Bowl can't use favorite. Oh, your favorite team that you cheer for. Shit, I don't know. I guess the Bills. I guess I would like because I think Josh Allen is due. Yeah, this
I would say I would love actually for the Rams to do it. I think that'd be cool. I think
solidify Stafford as a Hall of Famer.
He was already one.
Yeah.
But that would be it. That'd be the coup de grace. If he pulled it off, that would be the coup de grace. No, there is zero doubt. First ballot done. I think that would be dope. I think there was I can't believe I'm saying this. If the Bears actually do this,
dude, good guy.
I think both for being able to undo that narrative people had about Caleb Williams,
but
then also give Ben Johnson his flowers. I think that would be dope. And then lastly, if I had to pick like an AFC team, I would love for the Bengals are so far out of it. I'm not going to go that far. I would say the Ravens, because more so than the Bills, just because I think that Lamar still to this day is not getting the flowers he deserves. I know he's not playing very well right now, but I genuinely think he had the better season last year, and they were tired of voting for Lamar, so they gave it to Josh.
That's
Not
fair.
that Josh didn't have a good season, but the numbers were better and the plays had the same look in the eyes that Josh did. It's just it felt like, well, Lamar has Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Okay, but he was individually doing crazy numbers, and he still had James Cook, who was cooking enough to get paid a lot of money. So like I feel a little bit stronger about Lamar and being like, I feel like he's been shat on more so than praised, even when he was at the top of the game.
There's a real possibility that it's the Panthers versus the Bears in the NFC Championship and the Patriots versus the Broncos. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah. Doug says, only team I fully trust can beat the Bills and the Patriots in the Super Bowl is the Rams right now. Let Stafford ride off into the sunset as a Hall of Fame lock the day after his birthday.
That would be cool.
Sure.
That would be cool. And I don't know why we're putting the Bills in that conversation. Again, I know they won, but you have got too much drama, like the Keon Coleman saga. Who is he throwing to? I do not trust the Bills anymore. That middle chunk of drama just So
Message McCall says Sam Darnold watching Conjuring, I'm seeing ghosts. Not wrong. All right. Derek back again. Thank you, Derek. Heads up, I'm gonna throw some controversy tonight. One, there are binary and trans beings and versions of the Bible. Shit. All right. Okay.
I would have to think about it, but probably,
yeah, probably. Stranger Things is only television show to give interracial relationship real ownership. Only downside is the 80s had some issues with mixed dating that they skip over.
Yep,
that's fair. Yep. I think that's fair. I've never thought of it that way, to be honest, Eric. But I'm not a black man, so I don't see it quite that way. But like hearing you highlight it, you're absolutely right. I've had friends who had interracial relationships in the 1980s growing up. It was not a good time for that kind of stuff.
There's a reason why that one of the funnier episodes of Fresh Prince, but one of the more serious ones was the one when Will's auntie is getting married and like they think the white guy is the taxi driver. Turns out that was the fiance, and everybody's like, and then you have some of the aunties being like, well, shit, maybe I need to get me a white man. He's pretty good. And then but then Will's mom being so anti it, and then really get into the race relations of it all. You really did not see that turning point until we got till about the mid 2000s. Truly.
Yep. I agree with you, bro. And Derek says Avatar won't make $1 billion.
That is definitely some controversy. It'll cross $1 billion, but I stand by. People were like, it's probably going to make $2 billion. No, I think it caps out at about 1.2 max, maybe 1.3.
Some of these mixed reactions, Winston, I think make me agree with you. And also, I think people are tired. People are exhausted. You're asking them to go see a 3-hour and 15-minute movie about this. And if the reviews are he's just repeating himself, that doesn't make you excited to go and see the movie, So I think that's going to affect the overall box office as well. Derek one says angels, different versions. Some are hermaphrodites and some have no gender. Oh, he's talking about the angels.
Well, so he said the Bible. He didn't get specific when he first said it, but that's, that is a fair assessment.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah. Good. Look, God created everybody. Okay. Everybody, trans people, gay people, straight, whatever. God created everybody. You don't like it? I hate to break it to you. God doesn't care. God created everybody. So that's my opinion.
Angels don't have gender. Yes. They're non-binary. Exactly.
All right. Fredtastic coming in. Hey, Tequila Spillers, talking about movie critics is wandering over to one of my biggest beefs. I'm at a place now where I believe people watch a movie and try to rank on it in their critique. The first question I ask someone is always, did you enjoy it? And this goes with my belief that moviegoers have forgotten how to watch a movie. I like what I like and you like what you like, and sometimes they won't mesh. Avatar being repetitive is similar to the Marvel movies feeling the same way, in my opinion. Great show, guys. Thoughts on any of that, Winston?
I do think that we hit a fever pitch of critics and influencers that became a problem. And I said the thing that would probably be the best thing that could happen is you take a legit, like, I'm a critic by the nature of the word, I've studied the craft, whatever, and you take the influencer that I'm an influencer, I connect with my audience and all that, and you wed them together either in a podcast or in a duo, as your new like kind of Siskel and Ebert. You
Oh.
need to find the balance. I think that a lot of the critics are
Oh.
too hoity-toity now and shit on everything. And I
Yeah.
think the influencers live in their fantasy reality world of I want to get invited to things. If you found a way to get somebody that can connect and somebody that knows the art and they could talk together,
Yeah.
I genuinely think you would find a recipe for success that people would trust that duo more than anybody they've trusted since Siskel and Ebert or Robert and Ebert.
Yeah, that's a great point. I like that idea too. That's a great suggestion, Winston. A new Siskel and Ebert that's an influencer. One's an influencer and one's a movie critic, and how they talk about movies to kind of bring people together in the conversation. Very smart.
Mm-hmm.
John Rocha, Filet-O-Fish. Oh, I miss Filet-O-Fish. John, you look good, man. Good head of hair. Thank you very much, brother. Question: do you believe that Greg Fraser will return for the Batman Part 3? It won't be the same without Greg. Well, maybe, because I mean he's shooting the Beatles films, I think, and that's going to take a lot of his time from that year. So it depends on if there even is a Batman Part 3. I don't care what they say right now. Everything's in flux. WB might get sold. What if Supergirl comes out and flops, or Clayface flops, or Superman of Tomorrow doesn't do well? Are we still going forward? And is James Gunn going to be like, okay, Matt Reeves, wrap it up after the Batman Part 2? I got to make my Batman in my universe. So there's a lot of factors around this thing. But yes, I'd love Greg to come back to be Batman Part 3. It'd be a lot of fun because, as Winston said, the first one's a fucking masterpiece. So what are your thoughts on that, Winston?
I would love to see. I don't want any more drama.
Yes.
But no more drama. You don't want no drama. But I also I need the DCU to kind of get the ball rolling. So let's have an awesome Batman Part 2. And if it's so good, it's undeniable, and he's like, I really have one more story to tell, then let's look into that after we have the DCU Batman.
Yeah. Agree with you, bro. Agree. Derek back again saying Joss Whedon deserves an apology for being called a racist. Being an asshole doesn't mean you are a racist. I don't remember that.
I don't remember being called racist. I do. I mean, I know that Ray Fisher did have Ray Fisher had some things to say about how he was handled, but there are definitely some things to look back at what Joss did over the years that weren't the best.
Very suspect.
So like there's like, I'm not even thinking of the race stuff in particular. I'm thinking about a lot of women that were like, nah, bro, he's a little sketch at time. I know he did Buffy and everything else, but like there's a lot where it's like, okay. So
that's the insidious sexual assaulter, maybe, is the one who seems like an ally, but then creates content so that he can get access to women so he can do the things that he does. So it's a really unsettling situation.
President. I would just go backstage and they'd be changing. They'd be naked. But I own it. So I have to be like, are you okay? Is everybody feeling good? His words. I am clearly doing an impression and paraphrasing. Those are literally his words. And then wants to turn around and right now, I'm a champion for women. I always have been a champion for women, while also stopping the Epstein files, which he keeps saying he's not in it like that. Okay, if he's not, then why are you not letting this just happen so we could let the I said it for a reason. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to open that door, but I also don't care because let's call it a book.
Yeah, Riley Gaines, let's call it a buck. If you want to be against sexual assaulters, be against all of sexual predators, but apparently your president gets to escape your anger. Thank you, Derek, for another kind donation. It says, love the channel and the community.
Wow,
Derek, you are the best. Thank you, dude.
Coming through strong, Brody.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Also, one more. Derek says, why do so many people defend Gunn's leadership? Feige laid out a roadmap with potholes and speed bumps, and the DCU showed what not to do. Yet he is still falling into some of these issues. I judge him harder based on that. I hear you. No one's been harder on Gunn than me. Everyone comes after me. Even my own colleagues come after me for my feelings on Gunn. But I can see through people, and I see some of the things that he's doing. And I agree with you, bro. He's walking into the same traps because it's hubris. Gunn has a bit of hubris, and that's why he thinks he can fix the things that other people fell apart in. So
let me give my response to that.
Sure.
And it specifically lies in, look at this Thanksgiving game against the Chiefs that the Cowboys had. No, I'm serious. I'd love to make a lot of sports analogies.
Where you're going.
But you know where I'm going with this, right? What did Dak do? You don't know. What did Dak do the third play of the game?
I don't remember.
he threw an egregious interception.
Oh, yes.
And then it turned into the Chiefs turning it into 7 points within like the first 2.5, 3 minutes of the game.
True.
And then what happened the rest of the game? Dak went
down
to the bench, tightened up, settled down, and owned the rest of that game. I think it is too soon to be immediately throwing these stones at James Gunn because you are at the beginning. You just started. Okay, fine. If people feel he threw an interception right now, okay.
Yeah.
I need you to wait and let's see what he does. Right. So if we get to the end of the first quarter, so that's like Supergirl and then Man of Tomorrow. Let's say that's what we're calling the kind of the. I know that won't be the end of this first chapter, but that's enough stuff to look at, and it's really looking that bad. We might need to go. This isn't good for Dak here, man. He threw another interception, and it's 2.25. That's not great.
Right.
That's not what I feel is happening right now. It's like, okay, you had a fumble that you kind of jumped on. We'll call that peacemaker. You kind of threw an almost interception there with Superman, and like some of these throws have been sketch, but you did go down and get a field goal. You're on the board, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see what happens now once we get to the end of a few of these, if we're still feeling that way, because there are some mistakes nobody can avoid.
Yeah.
And I think some of the stuff that's going on is now that he's in the spotlight, he may have seen somebody else do it, but now you're in charge. Right. So it's sometimes it's hard. You go, damn, maybe I was too hard on so-and-so about that because now that I can't avoid not doing that stuff. Right. How many times do we say that about any number of presidents? We go, this president's going to be different. Damn, he did the same shit the last one did. And that's because we don't get to see the whole picture. So that does not give a carte blanche, because overall we get to look at what you did and we can go, bro.
Right.
But little stuff, you got to kind of give some space. You got to give some wiggle room to see how it develops.
Yeah, I know. I don't want him to stop. I want to be able to freely give my opinion or criticize or analysis, but I'm in no way I'm saying he needs to be kicked out in the position that he's in, because Superman was really well received. Peacemaker season 2 was well received up until the last episode. And then there's arguments over that. But, Supergirl has already all kinds of rumors that that's a damn good movie. And then we'll see what happens with Clayface. So, yeah, I think Man of Tomorrow is halftime. I think Supergirl is the second quarter with Clayface. And then we got Man of Tomorrow at halftime. So we'll see. All right, well, there you go. We got to get on out of here. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Shout out to Winston A. Marshall's mom was having a birthday tonight. I did not know that. So shout out to her. Thank you, Winston A., for joining us. Samuel says, if Avatar 3 fails, will this be the death of cinema? And will this be grifter? Will grifters be happy? I don't know. I don't think it's the death of cinema, for God's sake. But we'll see. Derek, one more. Sorry, Winston. He's had 3 different projects. You just said a minute ago that we don't have time to wait. He's out here promoting the Wonder Twins and Clayface when he has access to A-list heroes. Well, there's other things going on around the A-list heroes. The Wonder Woman is being fast-tracked. Batman is in the works. So there are other things that have to get worked out. In the meantime, he's creating content to fill in the time. Right. I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. And part of the thing that I think that's going on with that is you got to remember he's a giant comic book geek. And I think that's part of what that is he's like, hey, y'all remember the Wonder Twins? Because the other thing is, I don't know how much you're following along right now, Rocha, or even Derek Johnson. I mean, Jace is gotten a massive kind of resurgence and upgrade in the comics right now, where Aquaman is now a new god and he's in charge of the blue, which is like the water equivalent of the green. Yeah. And Jace was locked up by gods because he was so fucking powerful. They were like, no, we have to rein you in. Right. So if he's pushing the Wonder Twins, it might be in some sort of synergistic level of DC is pushing Jace right now from the Wonder Twins. So like there's certain things that I need people to understand. It's not just the little thing you're seeing in front of you. There are sometimes other things at work that are going on. Right. And that's where my mind would go.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Winston. Absolutely. All right, Winston, where can they find you, brother, and see all the stuff you got going on here in the world of YouTube?
You can find me at the Swaggy Blurred on all platforms, especially here on YouTube. Again, I did the Blurred breakdown today, so you can go and watch that replay back. I also started my membership, so if you were interested in that, please go and check that out. I will be having exclusive videos, early access videos. I'll be doing one members only stream a month, which will be a lot of fun and things like that. So check all that out. I'm here every Tuesday. Blurred's on the Hood on Wednesday, which I'm going to have we're doing a birthday episode for me next Wednesday is my birthday.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll be here next Tuesday, so we'll do the whole thing before then. Capes and Cows on Friday. We're back with Demon Slayer this weekend. So all of that good stuff. Check all that out, and I will see you. I want to see you.
Respect. Thank you, Winston A. As for me, at the Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the social medias. Subscribe down below. Hit the bell button. Don't forget, the John Rocha channel is its own podcast channel. If you don't want to see Winston and I's pretty faces, you can listen to our sweet voices in your ears when you download the podcast and subscribe to the John Rocha channel. We'd appreciate it. All right, take care of yourselves. Be well. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon with another brand new episode here of Spill the Tequila. Peace.